My name is William Edwin Bell. I was born in Alexandra Road, and in 1939 we moved to Oswin Avenue at Balby. I had three brothers, mum and dad. And my dad was a joiner, wood machinist at Harold Arnold's, the local builders. We didn't have a lot of money, but we managed to live okay. I had three brothers. Peter was young, I was the eldest. Peter was the second one. He was 18 months younger than me. And then there was 10 years difference between Robert and David, the youngest two. Peter went to Oswin, Robert went to grammar school, and David went to Oswin. I was called Eddie at school rather than William because there was three Williams in the house when I was born at Grandma's. And then when I went to school, they called me Eddie. When I left school, I became William again, and now I'm a mixture. Peter once made a radio cabinet for the headmaster, Mr. R.V. Taylor, during his woodworking lessons, and the headmaster got him a job as an apprentice at Sheridan Binnington's as a joiner and cabinet maker. So he had a good trade to be in. Woodwork was the family business, but I was never any good at woodwork. I could burn wood and that's about it. Yes, I was interested in radios and electronics and things like that. One of my uncles worked for Pickering's, the radio dealer. So Grandma's attic was full of valves and capacitors and radio gear, and Uncle Gordon was out in Burma at the time, so I was able to fiddle about making one valve radios and transmitters with the Uncle Gordon's equipment. Towards the end of the war, my father was an ARP warden, and we had a passageway in our house to get to the back of the house, or for two houses in the block of houses, and we had a ladder in there that my father looked after to help people if the houses got bombed or damaged in fires or anything, for them to help get people out of the houses. People donated to pay for that ladder, but my father looked after it. And then after the war, we had a street party when they blocked the street off, and they had tables in the street, and we had food. And then we had a concert organised by Mrs. Patchin, who lived in the street. We were all dressed, all the lads were dressed as cowboys, singing Ragtime Cowboy Joe, and you had two pistols and you fired them in the air with cap guns. I went to Waverley School prior to going to Oswin Avenue. I went to Oswin Avenue about 1944, 45-ish. Good set of lads. I was in the second class of the three. There were three classes in our group. I was in the middle one of the top boys with the good lads. Oswin Avenue School had a quadrangle in the centre of the school, and they used to keep guinea fowls and rabbits and other animals in the quadrangle. And one of the lads in our class, Maurice Dent, he was good with animals, and he looked after the animals. And then when he left school, he went on to work with animals on farms and places like that. While I was at Oswin, the headmaster was J.P. Mason, who was quite a character. He used to come to work on an old push bike from Townmoor Avenue. He used to do a lot of shooting, and if you were a good lad, you were able to go out beating with him on a Saturday morning when he went shooting. One year when I got my report, he'd written on the bottom of it, this bell rings well. One of the teachers at Oswin was Frank Scott. In the evenings he ran the youth club at Oswin Avenue as well, and he used to tell tales of his adventures during the war on a motor torpedo boat in the Mediterranean and the things he got up to. He used to carry one or two of the top people, Churchill and people like that, Montgomery, to secret rendezvous. They once had an accident and the prop shaft got bent, and some Italians did it in a little village, seaside village, and repaired it for him. He used to know some of the lads who were on his ship had joined the Navy with people who were now admirals, and so wherever they went, they used to go and see these admirals, and always came back with a suitcase full of rations, the things they couldn't get hold of normally. But being in touch with an admiral made all the difference. While I was at Oswin, they had all the materials there to build a new gymnasium. The girders were like little rivers when it rained, filling up with water. And Mr. Frank Dixon, who was our teacher, and our class was in the science lab. He had the drawings for the new building, and he kept them until it came time for it to be built. Around 1945, Bruce Woodcock, the boxer, had won the Lonsdale belt at boxing. J.P. Mason asked him to come and give a talk and show the belt off. Mr. Mason was really pleased because he was a keen on sport. Most enjoyable things that happened, we were the first school trip to go for a week down to Stratford-on-Avon with a group of our lads and teachers. One of the local bus firms took us, and we stayed in a youth hostel, and we did a trip round a pottery, round a farm, round a Tewkesbury Abbey. Yeah, I really enjoyed being at school. I enjoyed learning, and I got on well with all the teachers. But even after school, after I left school, I used to go out and drink at the Salutation Hotel with some of the teachers. After we left school, we started going to the youth club. I think it was 3 nights a week. We did also, I was in the drama group with Malcolm Titley, Brian Bowling, John Drury. Did 1 or 2 plays on the one-act play festival. Mostly in the school hall and one of the school, 1 or 2 classrooms for different things. I also went to cookery lessons and learnt how to make sausage rolls, which the lads in the pub enjoyed every Thursday night. During that time I met Derrick Holmes, who'd become a school teacher after I'd left, but he was keen on football, played for Dennerby United, I think he played for, and he also helped start up basketball in Doncaster, Doncaster Panthers. I remember Morris Wordsworth, Brian Price, they were one of the first lads. Police Sergeant Best's son, he was one of the first basketball players. I remember after the war started, we didn't have a National Health Service, and Dr. Ward, who was Jeremy Clarkson's granddad, had a collector who came round, and we paid weekly, so much a week for a family to see the doctor, rather than have a bill if we'd visited the doctor. When NHS came up, I think we changed doctors to Dr. Lyons in Greenfield Lane, and whenever I went to doctors, Dr. Lyons didn't ask me why I'd gone. He always said, "How's your mum and dad?"
If you would like to know more about the Ossie Through the Ages project, then please email me at tonyarmstrong1959@outlook.com. Thank you.